What's hot right now in the world of music? Which artists are heating up the airwaves? It's time to put our very own Xfinity music editor on the record with his picks for the songs and albums you need to inject into your ear holes right now. Quam, take it away.
Thanks, David. In my editor's picks collection, you can find all of the current songs, music, albums, and all the suggestions that I think you should be listening to right now. You can check out the songs that are heavy in my rotation or listen to the albums I think are worth tapping into. You can even check out me talking to like awesome celebrities or see some of the movies and documentaries that are music related that I'm watching. Just say on the record into your Xfinity voice remote and to see all of this and more. And speaking of what I'm listening to, speaking of not necessarily Beyonce. Speaking of Jungle, let's check out some songs that I think you should add to your queue. First up is Jungle Problems. So this is a funk soul dance duo, and they are back with some new music. And while this song has been out for a couple of weeks, I really can't stop listening to it. It had such a groovy beat, and it's so contagious that you can't help but like vibe to it. It's uplifting, but still like mildly chill for like a summer afternoon. It's definitely a summer bop, and it gets two thumbs up for me. Next
I like it.
is
Don't move on yet.
SZA's
I want to
Jody.
talk about this one.
Oh,
Don't move on
You
yet.
want to
I
talk about
want to
this
talk
song?
about
You want to talk about this
Jungle.
song?
David has thoughts.
I
David,
don't
do you
have
have to?
many
Okay,
thoughts
I didn't know
beyond
David
just
has
saying
thoughts.
like that it's just like it's just like a great vibe. Like I don't really know what the words are in the song. I don't really know what they're saying because there's
Oh,
like 30
Grampy.
there's like there's like 30 people singing, it feels like. But it's like very uplifting and it's definitely the kind of thing that would like get me moving. So this is a song I would put on that Grampy would put on to like dance around the house while doing some dishes or something.
Yeah, put it on your 8-track.
Yeah.
I
Sorry,
mean,
Quad.
it
Go ahead.
definitely
Tell
is
us
one of
about
those songs,
SZA.
and it's I mean, I was gonna tell you more about Jungle and their problems, but if you want me to talk about SZA, I'll
Go
definitely
for
talk about SZA.
go
And so,
for it,
speaking
dude.
of SZA,
Whatever you want to do. Whatever you want to do.
well, thank you, David. Thank you for giving me the freedom to do what I want to do. But so SZA, I've never
Yeah.
seen an artist like coast off the success of one album, unlike SZA. Besides, like maybe like Lauryn Hill, because SZA she only released the album or her first major album back in like 2017 with Control, and she just recently dropped the deluxe version to this album, which is insane because it's about 4 or 5 years later. Why are you just now dropping the deluxe? But I'm not mad about it because this song Jody is also a nice summer vibe. It makes me feel like I'm at a picnic. And I'm just like, chilling out with some friends. There's no problems on my mind. And even though the song is like very like problem heavy, it's more about SZA talking about like, yeah, I'm having these issues, but I need to like, go relax and not worry about these issues. And it's just a vibe. It's just a pure vibe, and I love SZA. I love new music. I would love a new album, but a deluxe to her 2017 Control album will suffice, especially with this song. I'm really loving this song right now. I'm sure a whole lot of SZA fans are loving this song. Are any of you SZA fans?
I also like
I know Brad is.
I'm not typically a SZA fan, but I do really enjoy the vibe of this song. Like I need to listen to it a few more times to like really process the lyrics. I mean, typically the way I listen to music is I listen for like the vibe and the mood of it first, and then like kind of get into the lyrics and like learn like what else is behind it. So like I was just listening first just to see if like I vibe with the tone of the song, melodically speaking, and I do. So I'll listen to it certainly a little more.
Do you know what's so interesting, David? You just were talking about like how you listen to a song, and it made
Mm.
me think of Kwam. You're not going to relate to this because you're such a baby,
Oh
but
my gosh.
when back in the day when CDs were like a thing, you would get a CD and it came with like the track listing with like all the lyrics in the book in the front of the
Yeah.
CD. And like the first thing I would do was like take out the book, listen to the song, and like read the lyrics and go through the pages and like memorize all the lyrics and like fully understand what the song was about. And then like I would pick my favorites and like figure out which I vibed with. And now it's so different. Like you're right. Like you listen to like I don't want to make a generalization, but like I feel like you just said that, and I do the same thing. Like you listen for like the emotion first, and then like you start to break down the lyrics. It's just interesting how that's changed with like the way music is given to you. Like now it's on the internet or on your phone.
Yeah, I think there's just
That's
a
all.
lot. I think compared to, I'm not that young, Audrey. Okay, I bought a CD. But I
All
think
right,
now
good.
with
Whew.
how accessible music is, you don't necessarily have to like invest as much to really like go listen to a new album or even listen to a new song. Before, you had to go buy a CD, and so you're more invested into the song itself or like the whole project as a whole. Whereas now you can kind of just throw it on whenever you want, whenever you feel like it. And so that's probably the first thing you are just checking out. It's like, okay, there's a ton of music I can listen to. Am I even going to vibe with this? And so I think this is kind of like the change of behaviors of how like the accessibility to music has just changed our listening habits. So
For sure.
just an
Super interesting.
observation. But yes, SZA, Jody, good song, good vibe. David approves of the vibe, and hopefully he approves of the lyrics as well. And last but not least, certainly not least, we gotta bring up Beyonce, Queen B, her, that woman. Oh my gosh, she's back, y'all. She is back. With this nice, this really groovy song, "Break My Soul." It's really pulling from the '90s house era of music. It even samples Robin S's what's that song, "Show Me Your Love," or "Show Me Love," "Show Me Love." Robin S. "Show Me
Show
Love," which is a '90s song.
yeah.
Do you know that song, David?
I do know that song. You know what's
Maybe he doesn't.
crazy is that there were two songs called Show Me Love in the 90s, one by Robin S. and one by Robin. Two songs, two different Robins, same title.
Wow.
But that Robin S. song is great.
Who came out? Yeah, it is. It is, and it's
I
great to
don't
see
know who
Beyonce
came. I don't
use
know
that
who
as like a
came up with
reference
it
point for
first.
this song.
Brad,
Yeah,
who came up?
Brad.
Which Robin did it
Brad.
first?
Which Robin did it first, Brad?
Which Robin?
Put Brad on. Brad, you're on the clock. But with this new song, as I mentioned, it's pulling a lot from '90s house, and it's the first single off her new album, that's her upcoming album, Renaissance, which I believe comes out July 23rd. I want to say it's late July. And if I'm putting my theorizing cap on and seeing like trying to peer into the mind of Beyonce, what I think she's doing with this album, based off of what I read in this song, like this particular song. I think she's going to pull a lot of inspiration from Black artists and Black genres throughout music's history, to really comprise this new album called Renaissance, which I think would make sense because Renaissance is like an era where it's all about the arts and all about just people being excellent at certain things. And so I think it's gonna be like an album celebration of just of Black art. And with this new song, it's definitely groovy. It's definitely getting people moving. It's probably the better of dance songs that we're hearing now, compared to some other artists who released dance music that hasn't been received so well. But Audrey, you have a lot of thoughts
Ooh,
about
that's
this song.
very pointed.
Yeah, and I'm throwing
I don't have a
shots.
lot of thoughts. I have a few. So the first time I listened to it, the first like couple notes, bars, what you will, for whatever reason, it reminded me, maybe not the first couple, like after the intro, of Rhythm is a Dancer for some reason. If you know that 90s song.
Yeah.
And it also very much felt like if roller skating palaces, like roller skating rinks were a thing now still, like this would be what kids were roller skating to. Like it reminded me of like a roller skate song that I would skate to, but like the modern version of it.
Right.
That's my take. It sounds like a roller skate song, which is not a bad thing. It's fun.
It's so interesting that you said that, Audrey, because it reminds me of the song "Everybody, Everybody" by Black Box. The wow. Dun, dun,
Yeah.
now, wow. Everybody, everybody.
Everybody.
Yeah, it's got that like same vibe. I don't like this song. I don't. I love an
Ooh, hot
80s
take.
vibe in music. Quan knows this. Like I was like a whole like 7 months late to the song called New Shapes by Charlie XCX that I absolutely love. And that's got an 80s vibe to it. I told Quan to listen to this new song, and he's like, that came out like 7 months ago. But I love that. I don't need a 90s vibe back in my music. Although I love Robin S. Brad does say Robin S.'s Show Me Love was first.
My musical taste like just skews a lot more like indie rock, like emo, sad,
Grunge.
depressing, grunge, pop punk. Like that's my wheelhouse. Like if it's upbeat, it's like screaming and angry. And otherwise it's like very chill and like folky or just like I don't know, indie like melodic. So that is all the reason for me not loving this stuff. I just don't love 80s and I don't love like synth, like any of that stuff is like very not for me.
Audrey, you're a Gemini, right?
But that's what's great about music. I am a Gemini, yes.
Okay, that makes total sense because like you're like either I'm like very chill or I'm like just screaming my lungs out, and so like I'm like that's a Gemini right there.
Quam, it's the story of my life. Like there's a Jonathan Richman song, which if you guys aren't familiar with Jonathan Richman, he's amazing. And it's called I Want the City, but I Want the Country Too. And like that is like my life as a Gemini, like very much on both sides of the spectrum.
Incredible. I love Geminis, but
and you can say TV horoscopes if you would like to see more about what your horoscope means about you and what you should be watching.
Big plug.
Let me just throw that out there, Comcast people.
I have a little like full circle little thing here too, is that I noticed on your on the record destination with all your musical tastes, you have the new Michelle song Full for You, which is like a new additional track that they just recently released for their After Dinner We Talk Dreams album, which I bought on vinyl. And they have within the liner, like there's a big booklet that comes with the vinyl record that lists all the lyrics for every single song. And that's something that they've been doing on vinyl records now, like going back to like CD times where now you can buy the vinyl and like have all the lyrics in a big old booklet. And I love that. And I love that Michelle album. It's so good. And I can't believe that Quam and I both like Michelle. Makes me feel really good about me.
Oh, I feel like Quam put a Michelle track on like a mixtape for me when we were trying to be like, here, listen to these songs that I think are good. No, you listen to these songs that I think are good. So I'm on board too, guys.
I thought you would like Michelle because they're like more indie, more chill. And it was so hard not to include them in my on the record roundup. I just found that these other songs that I chose were just better in my ears. But I do like Michelle. They are definitely heavy in my rotation. And Brad has said Renaissance, the Beyonce album, is coming out July 29th to be exact. So if you're looking for the Beyonce album, check it out on July 29th. Check out all my picks, all my songs, everything I think you should check out just by saying on the record into your Xfinity voice remote.